everybody, and welcome back to Heidi's house. This is your host, Queen Bee Heidi B. And today's featured guest is Kalpesh Joshi. He is an owner of JDK Radio in UK. I'm so excited to know more about his house music journey. So are you ready? Then let's go. So here he is. Kalpesh Joshi is in the house.
Too kind, Heidi, too kind.
Hey, how are you today, Kyle?
I'm doing really well. The sun is shining. In England, the sun never comes out, so I'm pretty happy. It's a Sunday, so I'm relaxing. I'm doing no form of work or anything like that, and this is not considered as work for me. For me, this is enjoyment. This is something that we both love. We love music and so on. So all good, all good. Hope you're keeping well.
Yes. Well, I have unfortunately not been able to enjoy the sun. We have a similar
Right.
situation here, most
Oh, okay.
rainy over here as well. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking forward a little bit in betterment, but I'm dressed for
yeah.
the occasion already, like you can say.
Well, no, you're
For
very
the-
summary, very. Yeah, I love it. It's great. Why not?
I'm trying to manifest the good weather. All
Super.
right. So, as you know, I've been wanting to interview you. As we here in
Yes.
Heidi's house, we are having various kind of guests from all fields related to
Yes.
house music, and
Yes.
and we have artists, DJs, promoters,
Yep.
radio personalities, and also
Fantastic.
now radio
Well done.
CEOs as
Oh my God.
yourself. So yes, uh, without further introduction, so to say,
Sure.
I let you continue. So
Okay.
tell us a little bit, who is Cal?
Okay, so who am I? So I came to England when I was about 6 years of age. Everything was brand new, everything was new. Didn't know anything about England. I didn't know about the food. I didn't know about the clothing. I didn't know about transport. I didn't know the language. Equally, I didn't know anything about music. I didn't even know what music was. So my musical journey sort of started. And we're talking about 4 decades. So we're talking from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. Um, and it's really, really difficult to really understand or pick a particular artist or a particular track that really has defined who I am and what it is that I do in terms of music and project that music via the social media and broadcasting airwaves and so on and so forth. Um, for me, I would say that I I'm definitely a music freak and I love listening to music. It's based on emotion. And those emotions help you evolve as a person. And you be better as a person. And to those who you liaise with, like your good self, for example, like we are here today. Excellent, excellent.
Thank you.
Um, it's a form of connection. We're connecting right now. We're talking about something that we really love,
True.
um, and passion as well.
Yes.
Music. How did that kind of get introduced to me? Little story. My father, at when I was about age of 10, my father bought me a little transistor radio and a little headphone, which is only goes into one ear. That's it. We didn't have the, multiple
Ah,
headphones. Yeah, yeah,
okay.
little red transistor radio. He gave me that and he said, "Here, listen to this." So, you have the little dial and you go through all the different radio stations and you hear music. And I was like, wow, completely blown away. I didn't know what was going on.
Mm,
He gave me that because when I was in this country growing up, I had a difficult time speaking the language, understanding the culture, and so on and so forth.
mm,
And he introduced me to music solely for the fact just to help me get my mind off other things.
yeah.
But what he didn't realize was that it actually helped me grow as a person and helped me go through the difficult times as well. So my music taste started from the 70s, good old disco, Bee
Yes.
Gees,
Yes.
yeah, to name a few. There you go. Earth, Wind and Fire. There's another one there,
Mhm.
as well.
Like a disco
And
star.
then from the 70s, the 80s came along, and with the 80s, it was it was a mixed bag because there was sounds of soul, jazz, funk, and boogie, which I really liked. So artists like Prince. Prince 1999 track,
Oh,
or for
great one.
example, Chaka Khan, Ain't Nobody. Remember that?
Another one.
Yeah, there's another one. And of course, Earth, Wind and Fire, Let's Groove. All of those were playing a really important part in in my upbringing in specifically into music and so on. Then during the 80s, there was this big push towards electronic synthesized music. So you had
Yes.
Kraftwerk, the model, for example. You had Herbie Hancock, the Rocket, or you
Yeah.
had oh my God, but the thing is, there's so much out there, and there was so much to take on board, and the futuristic vibes are coming in place with this
Yes.
guy style of music. What I didn't realize and what we're doing now in 2025 is that we're actually going back to the old school music, sampling them and enjoying them and reviving them. So the music that we
Yes.
listen to will never ever die. Um, I'm sure none of us have listened to every single piece of music all over the world. And obviously I'm talking about music in the sense of like rap music. So I got into hip hop for a little bit as well.
Ah.
Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, The Message, African
Oh,
Bambaataa, who did Planet Rock,
yeah.
as well. So I was always into that, and I couldn't get I wasn't pigeonholed into
Mhm.
one particular genre.
Yeah.
Um, you would be surprised if you saw my music collection, which is vast. It also borders on, it borders on to jazz, opera, and I took up music when I was at school, but I was
Yeah.
crap. I couldn't play an instrument to save my life, as I say. That's another story altogether. Then the
Yeah.
90s turned up, right? So in the
Yes.
90s, that was a turning point for me anyway. By this point, I was around about in my 20s. And there was this
Mhm.
big hit in England of the rave scene. So you had all your
Yeah.
acid house, right? Do you remember that?
I remember.
Jungle, drum and bass, all
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff. So
And
you had, of
another
course,
new wave, so to say, a new
yeah.
invention in the sound. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Original.
exactly. Frankie Knuckles was on the map at that time with Your Love track, for example. Marshall Jefferson, Move Your Body, for example. Tracks like that, which is really, really good. And it was it was considered that style of music was considered underground and own and you couldn't listen to it into a night in a nightclub or anything like that because you had to go to these warehouses that were in the middle of a field. You know, there'll be a cow there, there'll be a sheep there, and you'll be thinking, hold on, am I actually
Yeah.
going to a rave or am I going to go work on a farm or
And they
something?
were really underground, and I remember they were illegal,
Yeah,
considered illegal, and it was causing a lot of mm, debate
yeah.
about that, and it took a while until it was kind of like legalized. I
That's
remember,
right.
remember the
Exactly,
time.
exactly. And then during that time, there was this whole big rap scene still going on. Now, I loved electro funk back in the 80s,
Mhm.
and break dancing and body popping and all that stuff. But then there was a big push for rap and West Coast classics like NWA, Snoop Doggy Dogg, and all of those stuff. So I enjoyed that kind of style of music as well. Um, but I never, I think for me, during the 2000s, I think that's where I kind of honed it all down to house music. Now, I didn't re this is really, really funny. I didn't realize that I actually liked house music from the very first time I heard it was a DJ called Moto Blanco. He's on YouTube. I don't know if he's still remixing or not. And he had taken pop tracks and jazzed it up. Well, I wouldn't say jazzed it up. He funked it up. He increased the beats and so on and so forth. What I didn't realize, it was actually house music.
Yeah, yeah.
And
House radio.
it's really, really funny. So during 2000s, I was still listening to all sorts of other music. Like, for example, Roger Sanchez with Another Chance, or Masters at Work, To Be in Love, for example, or Eric Pradis, Call Me
Mm.
track as well.
Yes.
But the house music scene was there, and I hadn't realized that I liked house music. And the story goes that I one day I was looking for a radio station online. At this point, we had the internet by this point, and
Yeah.
smartphones and so on. And I came to this radio station called House Beats radio station, HBRS.
Yeah.
And I started listening to the music and everything, and I didn't understand who it was. So I went into this chat room, and I asked some of the people in the chat room, "Can you tell me what this style of music is?" And they said, "This is house music." And I went,
Mm.
"You're joking." And he goes, "No, no, no. This is house music. This is the stuff that you like. You like your soul, your funk, your disco, and all of that. We've taken all of that and we've just housed it, as they
House.
called it. We've
Yeah,
jacked it
I'll
up.
house you.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Exactly.
Yes.
So I started listening to this radio station, and I made some really, really good friends with DJs. DJs like DJ Wino, aka Stephen Ryan, or DJ Biddy, aka Wayne Bates, who, funny enough, is now on my station as
Mhm.
well, which is another story we'll come to in a minute. Um,
Yeah.
and also Kismet, DJ Kismet, Andrew Lawrence. These guys were really helpful. They kind of educated me a little bit about house music and how it forms and how it comes about and so on and so forth. And it just literally from 2000 onwards, it just went on from there. And I just started listening to house music.
Yeah.
There was a point where I could actually remember every single track and the name and the record label that it belonged to and everything.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
well.
I fell ill in 2022, and so it affected me a little bit, and I now can't remember most of the tracks. I know the
Mhm.
track. I mean, I know the track, and I know I like it, but I don't know what the record label it was with, when it came out, who was the artist, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but hey, what can you do? So that's how, that's kind of me in a nutshell in terms of my musical journey, as I say, through the genres and the eras and so on, which has inspired me to go ahead and create something else, which we can talk about as well.
Yeah, I mean, very beautifully described the whole journey. And what I'm listening there, it's like, for me,
Great.
it somehow
You're
all
welcome.
beautifully comes together. I'm always referring when people like, talk about that they
Yeah.
are open to various genres. I like that, and I refer that we
Yeah.
have a big appetite in music, and I always consider it such a great thing. And
Mm,
and and it makes sense. You being in a
mm.
radio, starting with the transistor radio and tuning up and listening, you didn't limit yourself. You
Absolutely.
started from that. So it's such a
Yeah, yeah,
beautiful, if you think about
yeah.
the whole, like
The
a
whole journey.
circle or
Yeah,
journey, so to say,
yeah,
that
yeah.
where did it start and where you are at the moment, and,
Just come
and, and
around.
how it has built up somehow
Yeah.
from
Thank
from
you.
from that gift from your father.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just,
And even this day, I'm looking after him, so I've got to thank him.
but it's beautifully really wrapped up,
Mm,
and it shows also the enormous knowledge that you have
yeah,
on the field of radio, and
yes,
when it comes to
yeah.
knowledge and, so to say, connoisseur of music. And
You're too kind.
no, it is obvious, and
Mm,
therefore it truly makes sense,
mm,
that you have started your
yeah,
own station. So could you
yes.
tell us now, what
Mm,
was the journey regarding
wow.
that, starting your own station?
How, how much time do we have? No,
Oh, we
no, no.
have to see.
The journey is an interesting one. That's another story as well. So, as I'd mentioned to you before, I found this radio station online called HBRS, a House Beats radio station, which doesn't exist anymore. And I met two DJs. Actually, no, I met four DJs there. Actually, no, five. So there was DJ Biddy, DJ Wino, who I've just mentioned. Then there was DJ Kismet, who I mentioned, and then there was another two, DJ J, who was literally called Mr. J, aka J Baldwin, and DJ Dean. DJ Dean resides in New Zealand. His name is Dean Scarvey, and Jay was the guy who I met up with him. I've never met him in my life, and he said, "Why don't you come down and see me play?" And I came down. I think it was in central London somewhere. Watched him play. We got on really, really well. We had a similar sense of humor, never taking life too seriously, and ever since then we've been best buddies. And during the time, HBRS were going through a transitional phase, and they didn't know where they were going and whatever else. So Jay literally turned around and said to me, "You know what? You got so much experience in music. You know the tracks, you know the vibes, you know how to talk to people, you know how to manage, and your background is in IT." And I said, "But how's that got to do anything with with being, managing a radio station?" So he said, "No, I think you literally can do it." And he kind of
Okay.
believed in
Interesting.
me. And
Mhm.
so I thought, I looked into it. I spoke to Kismet as well. I spoke to Dean as well. And I thought to myself, right, okay, do you know what? I'll do my due diligence and figure out what the basics are and what needs doing and so on and so forth. But with me, I make sure I do it properly, do it correctly, and so on. So I follow the rules and regulations and all that wonderful stuff. Um, and I thought, all right, I'll give it a go. So got some software, got some music, uh, got some stable internet connection, and then I got stuck because I didn't know what to call the station. So I sat
Mhm.
there thinking, what is it that people like? People love music, people love to drink. Now I'm not advocating drinking in any way. It's more music, I can assure you.
Yes,
Um,
it comes.
and one of my favorite drinks was JD, which is whiskey. Um,
Mhm.
and then I thought to myself, okay, so that sounds really nice. And then I thought JDK. So I thought, right, this is really great. But then I thought to myself, why? Why those three letters? And in actual fact, I named the station after those DJs, basically. J, Dean, and Kismet, simply because it's a reminder that they were the guys that believed in me, that I could do this, that I
Wonderful.
could create what this station is. It's been going for 5 years. I've got big names on our books. You can go to the website and you can have a look.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that it was the support that I got, the belief they had in me, the friendship, and so on. And they didn't believe that I actually named the station because after them. They thought the K was me, Cal. Everybody knows me as Cal, but where's the JD? Oh, because Cal likes JD, the drink. And I was like, hold on a minute. I'm not advocating drinking now. It's house music. And so basically, this thing just grew. It was created and so on and so forth. To
Yeah.
cut long story short, obviously, the two players of JDK Radio right now is DJ Wino and DJ Biddy. They have been with me since back in the day, and they're still with me to this day. We've got some really, really good players as well. We've got Mr. P,
Mhm.
and we've got Mixmaster Precise there as well, and we've got loads of other DJs and whatever else. But there's some really, really good names who actually have actually helped grow the station.
Yeah.
I've helped them out in so many different ways, from marketing, sales, which they don't have a clue about, sort of thing. And because of my day job, I'm involved in sales and marketing and so on and so forth from an IT perspective. And there's also DJ Coco from Spain as well, who's just fantastic. So so I created this, and it didn't. I won't lie, it had its ups and downs itself, and it's all free. We're 5 years, going on to 6 years now with the station, and yeah, it's because we love music, and we believe, and my belief is that. I mean, some people aren't very religious or anything like that, but I tend to find that the man upstairs, God, basically told me to do it as well because it's like sending the good news through music. I'm
Yeah,
a strong believer that music is the cure. Music is the answer, and I'm sure you've heard those words in
true,
house music somewhere along the
true.
way, and it is because when you hear music, whether it, it doesn't have to be house music, but when you hear house music, it really makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. It's that emotion and so on, so which is great. And when you see people's eyes and ears and light up, the
Yeah,
joy that I get that I've actually, not me personally, but the team, because it's a team effort, have actually made a change in someone else's life, in their mind, body, and soul,
yes.
then hey, everything's great. So hence the reason why this station started like that.
Beautiful, beautiful synopsis,
Yeah.
so to say. And did you know, Cal, that there has been recently
Yep.
published a study about the effects? It has been researched, and it
Yes.
just recently came out that
Uh-huh.
the house music actually literally has health improving effects to people's well-being. It was just I read
Wow.
an article a few
Y-
days ago. There was a
No, I did not know
study
that. I mean,
done
just
on the health
yeah.
effects of listening to house music. So
Okay.
so so we
So I've
have
done
we
something right.
have literally support
Yeah,
for, for for
exactly.
for pushing those good vibes and sharing those good
Abs-
vibes further to
There
the
you go.
world, because that's what it's
That's
it's
it.
a healing thing, and it's a celebration. And every time,
Mm,
I mean, if you think about how we respond to the music, it's all
yeah,
about the vibes and the frequencies and stuff like this. We
that's right.
already know
Yes.
about like frequency healing, for instance,
Yes. Yes.
long time used in meditation, that the
Yes.
body literally can, adapt, and
Yes.
chakras,
Totally.
energy centers, everything like this. But even for the skeptics now, we can say
Oh,
that there's a research on this, that it
absolutely.
does affect the humans in a positive way,
Oh,
and
it
music
does.
carries those emotions and people can relate to. And of course, with the house music, it's also not
Oh,
only
yeah.
about the positive messages usually that they carry, but the
Yeah.
beat that makes you want to move and
Yeah.
dance. And when you move,
It's true.
another thing, danceable music, it's been
Yeah.
researched that it brings a lot of health benefits, or dancing itself, so it all intertwines beautifully.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You're moving your body, you're burning calories and so on. So hey,
That's true.
you're gonna look
Endorphins.
fit, you're gonna look fit, you're gonna be fit, you're gonna be happy, and you're listening to
Yeah,
music that is making you fit. I mean, come on, it's good up
feel good
here.
hormones. Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, Cal, that I'm really also
Mm,
feeling grateful and blessed to be part of your
yes,
newest crew.
you
So
are.
shout out to
Yes.
JDK
Big.
Radio.
No, oh yeah. I mean, I wanted to say this right at the end of it, to be quite honest, just to say thank you so, so much for joining the station. Seriously, your music does wonders, honestly. We look at stats and so on, and every time it just fluctuates up and up and up and up. Sometimes it dips, but that's depending on what's going on in the world and whatever else, you
Yes,
know, and such like. But you being with us on this journey is just, oh wow. Thank you. It's such a blessing, I tell you, seriously.
it's a
The music
blessing.
you do, the music you produce. I mean, you're not just a DJ, you're beyond that. You produce the music, but there's that passion, there's that feeling, there's that cure, like you were saying, the frequencies and so on, and people just feel it and just feel energized. So well done, Heidi. That's all I can
Oh,
say. Well
thank you.
done.
But this this is now to say thank you, and
Okay.
bringing it back to our beautiful person and our featured guest, Kyle. So now as I have been asking and hearing
Yes.
about your influences, you beautifully already kind of shared about the
Yeah.
artists that have been
Yeah.
inspiring you, and the history, and of course
Yes.
what got you to the radio, and
Yeah.
the importance of those certain DJs introducing you to the house music.
Yes.
Now I have few more minutes left
Mm,
to
sure.
ask certain things, and
Please
this
do.
comes a little bit maybe not like as a surprise, but I have
Okay.
to still ask this because I just got interested about this. What do you think is the, in your opinion, since you
Yeah.
mentioned the waves
Yeah.
and good times and
Yeah.
a little bit not so,
Yeah.
regarding the listeners of radio station and
Yeah.
streaming, what would you say nowadays
Yeah.
um, about the importance of radio? Are people listening and tuning in still to the radio? And what do you see
I would.
then? The second question would be
Yeah.
then to continue that. What is the mega trend that you maybe see for the radio
Okay.
activities?
So from my perspective, I feel that radio is always important. It doesn't matter how you, um, how in what format you listen to it. Is it via through a streaming platform like Amazon Music, Spotify, Mixcloud, and so on, or is it via digital DAB, AM and FM, the classic radio stations that are officially licensed? JDK Radio is officially licensed. We've got two licenses, and it's the reason why I do everything correctly. And that I feel that more and more people are listening to online radio because it's more accessible in their cars, in their smartphones. It's portable. Um, I don't think that, and what with the old classic AM FM moving to digital now, DAB radio and so on, I think that's just going to be less and less and less. More people will still go to radio, but it won't be your classic transistor radio or your,
Mm,
hi-fi deck or radio player that you used to have back in the 70s or so on.
yeah.
I think that the trend is that because people want music quickly and very, very accessible with a lot of genre and a lot of, you've got more choices to
Yes.
select as well. Whereas before in the old days where you had classic radio, you just listened to the DJ and the DJ would play whatever they were given to promote that DJ or that artist, sorry,
Yeah.
and so on. Whereas now with the explosion of online radio, it's more specific. So if you ever want, classic, if you want house music, come to JDK Radio. If you want, say, jungle music and pure or hard techno, then there is there will be a station online that just does that, and you just listen to that, and then that's fine. That's okay. Um, but I think radio will always be around, but it won't be the classic old hardware stuff where you can touch the radio and so on.
Mm,
It will be, it'll be on your phone, and you can
yeah.
take that phone, connect it to your car. Your car is smart, and listen to your music that you wanted that you couldn't do from a classic radio station. Say, for example, here we have Radio One. Radio One has been around for ages,
Yeah.
for years, and you can get Radio One in the car, but what you don't get is the choices and the selections that you want in terms of the music, and so on. So I think it's going to be around. It's going to be around before what past our time anyway, for sure.
Yes, and one way or the other, people are, for sure drawn
Yeah.
to different radio shows and programs. And I think what
Yes.
you just described there is that we have now much more, even more options than we had
Yeah.
before 10 years ago, when
Yeah.
when people also, set up their stations and take the challenge and learn the
Yeah.
things and build their own radios, more official ones
Yeah.
or less.
Or
but
less. That's
but
right.
but uh,
Exactly.
but that they are probably same thing like with the music industry general, like
Mm.
the equipment the technology has been
Mm.
enabling more and more people to express their musical ideas and develop their artistic
Oh
skills
yeah,
that was
absolutely.
not accessible before uh,
No.
to not so many. And of course the prices of the gear has been, coming down
Yeah.
way down, and that gives a chance to the artists,
Yes.
musicians, producers,
That's it.
and radio enthusiasts
Yeah.
to
I think
thrive
I
and test their
mm.
wings.
Yeah, absolutely. This is it. But the thing is that there is a flip side to that, and and that is you because you've got more choices, you have more radio stations cropping up, and you try to then having to compete, not just 10 radio stations, you're competing with probably 50 radio stations, trying to make yours the best so that more listeners go to it and so on. Um, I'm my ethos is that we do it because we love it and we enjoy it. It's a hobby, and we all have our day jobs. If I could, if my radio station was earning what I earn in my day job, I'd be doing the radio station hands down straight off. But it's not the case. Um, but you know, um, some stations just crop up and then they just die. They just stop because funding. They don't have any more money or whatever else. Um, People think it's pretty easy to do and it's pretty cheap and everything, but it's not as well. It does have its issues, just like anything you take on in terms of a project. But as long as you don't go with sunglasses on, so you're blind and you have no idea what you're getting yourself in for. Um, and I'm fortunate because I had some really, really good DJs that I've mentioned that guided me, that advised me, and so on. And going on to the 6 years, so it's doing pretty, pretty well. But
Beautiful,
we'll
beautiful.
see. I would love for our radio station to be like a commercial radio station, but then you lose that uniqueness of house music. It's
Mhm.
now you're trying to please the masses when it's not. I'm trying to please, you know, those who love house music, and it helps cure them in any way, shape, or form. So
I believe in your vision, and I'm thinking that if it would be doing same like everybody else,
yeah.
then it would be actually even more difficult. I believe that because the competition would be such a huge, everybody
Oh
kind of
yeah.
offering the same thing in the
Yeah.
different kind of wrappings.
Absolutely. Very much so.
All
Very much
right.
so.
We have only, Cal, first of all, I have enjoyed this little snapshot interview here. We have only
Me
two
too.
minutes left.
All
And I'm
right.
so
Okay.
grateful that you're able to join in. But what would you want to say to our viewers as the things maybe coming next on JDK station, and where people can find you? What to
All right.
expect
Okay.
and where people
Okay.
can find you in social
All
media?
right. So JDK Radio more than just a station. It's a celebration of the journey, musical journey. People who inspire us, the music that brings us together, and that's why I do what I do. Um, JDK Radio is available on all the different social media websites you can think of, Mixcloud, Spotify. It's on all the radio directories, 400 of them, and JDK Radio has a license to broadcast worldwide as well. I have to send reports and stats and so on to the licensing companies and so on. That's the reason why I do everything correctly. Um, JDK Radio has a tagline which is called "Music is life, life is music." Some of my DJs, for example, DJ Simon Silverfox, um, he joined us about 6 months ago, and he's doing amazingly well on a Friday night. You should go check him out. Um, and he didn't know what to call his show. So I gave him a list of show names and so on. And he just turned around and said, "Well, can I use music is life? It's part of your tagline." I said, "Yeah, sure, because that's what it's about. Is
Yeah.
is music your life? And does it help in your life and the full circle?" And he said, "Yeah, it does." And I said, "Well, there you go. That's what it is." Future plans for JDK Radio, where it's going. I'm trying to work very hard to see if it could go digital. on a DAB radio station, have a DAB frequency. It's a bit difficult at times. There's sponsorship and funding that, and a lot of red tape, but I'm sure I'll get there eventually. And like I said, it at the moment I'm just seeing it as a hobby, stroke, possible something to do when I retire as well, and see
Ah,
what happens. Okay.
well, that's just, I understand that can be, and that is probably a lifelong project for you. Thinking
Yeah. Yeah.
the beginnings and everything,
Yeah.
so it is a more part of you and like your lifestyle to
Thank
be
you.
and have the radio in your
It's
life and the
yeah.
music in your life.
I
It
mean,
was meant to
one thing I will say, I am not me without people like your good self on the radio station. Okay. So anybody's listening to this, check out Heidi's show on JDK Radio. You're gonna love it. But
Thank you.
also the other DJs that are on the
Yes.
station as well. My
Shout out to
sponsors
DJ.
as well. They are a team. They're the family,
Yeah.
seriously. Um, and I'm kind of like the godfather, as it were, sort of thing. So sometimes we have issues and whatever else, but without them, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be talking about music. Seriously.
Mm.
So there you go.
Absolutely beautifully put. All the
Sure.
whole, the journey and the vision also of where the radio will be and all the insights that you shared here. Um,
Okay.
I want to
Yeah.
I want to once again thank you for
You're
taking
most welcome.
time to join this little podcast of ours and sharing on your music journey and of course for supporting house music. Woo!
Woo!
Supporting
Yay!
artists, house
Go
music
house
artists,
music.
supporting house music DJs,
Yeah.
keeping thing alive. People have sometimes said that,
Yeah.
that the house music, does it have future? Or maybe it's like something like, uh, that's staying underground forever, which it comes from the beautiful underground
Yeah.
background and everything like
Yeah.
this. But
Absolutely.
like you were saying beautifully earlier, that
Yeah.
house music and those good tracks, they never die. And we who have been here a bit more longer time, so to say, and
Yeah.
we have been
Yeah.
blessed to witness those musical ages and different
Yeah.
genres, the birth
Yeah.
and the evolving and different kind
Exactly.
of trends and so on. So you put it very well that um, in the beginning of this interview, that how
Sure.
you can see those older classics
Yes.
being revived and having a
Yes.
new life and second or even third or even fourth round,
Yeah. Absolutely.
in a form of remixes, in a form of
Yeah.
sampling and so on.
Yeah.
And we do hope and we encourage
Mm.
people to get to know the original tracks and to educate themselves about the music. It's a
That's
great
it.
thing to
You.
hire any DJ,
Yes.
producer, radio
Yeah.
personality, artist.
Yeah. You said it. You absolutely hit it on the nail. My son, he's not into house music, but he loves music. And before he was even born, we were playing music always, constantly, day in, day out. And after he was born, and now that he's listening to music, he literally turns around and says, "Oh, I heard this new track, and look, listen to this and everything." And already, both me and you would know that that came from a track back in the 70s or the 80s. Yazoo at the moment is doing the rounds.
Yeah.
Electronic synthesizer music. Yazoo, Alison Moye, doing a track called Situations, for example, or Don't Go, for example. And he heard that, and I turned around and told him, "You do know that the original person is from blah blah blah." And they were like, "What? Really?" I said, "Yeah." But the beauty about it is they are learning and taking it forward, and they're keeping house music alive because they heard that, and we told them, and their children's children, and so on and so forth. I mean, come on, it is the best cure.
It is the best cure.
Absolutely,
I thank you once again, and people,
super.
I hope you listen carefully. Um, all the message here about the enjoyment and good effects, healing vibes of the music, and I hope that you are all encouraged to hear more. Tune into JDK Radio. Check us out. Amazing crew of people, amazing DJs all around the world,
Yeah.
bringing
Thank you.
beautiful mix shows there.
Yeah. But
Empower.
at the same time, thank you to you as well, because if we didn't have you, a music producer and a DJ, we wouldn't be here, right? We wouldn't be. So without you doing this, even doing this podcast, fantastic. Thank you so much. Truly, from my heart, I appreciate what you're doing. Appreciate this session as well. So well done. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Lot of love and blessings all the
And
way
you as
from
well.
Finland to UK.
Yay. Okie
Yeah,
dokie.
let's wait for the sunny day.
That's
It will
it.
come
Exactly.
soon.
I've got to enjoy the sun now.
All right.
Okay.
Okay,
Take
take
care.
care. Bye bye.
Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.